PDR Tool Time, your industry podcast, tools, reviews, and stories. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 145. I'm your host, Vince D'Alessandro, Daniel Grom, and John Runstrom. What's happening, boys?
All right. It's the holidays.
It is.
Did you guys survive Thanksgiving?
Of course.
Of course we did. As we're recording this is before Thanksgiving. So,
Come on, dude, don't make me edit that out.
oh, no, I don't want you to edit anything out. But we first want to say, we really are supported by some great people. And Dave Stream from Edgy Tools is one of our supporters. And we would really appreciate you guys going out Black Friday. Hopefully, if you didn't, maybe you can go back and buy some tools if you didn't buy some tools, because this thing's going to be released on Tuesday after Black Friday. Buy some tools, some Edgy Tools. Plug in the. Do we have a promo code?
Yes, PTT 15, I believe.
Okay.
PDR Tool Time.
Nailed that one. Just bam! We were on the ball with all the information right away. Just wow.
Yes.
Man, straight into left field. High fly ball.
Is anyone fact checking me right now?
No.
So yes, Dave Stream comes through with the support. We also have to thank because we're in the season of giving and thanking, right?
Yeah.
Anson, PDR, those guys have been so generous sending us new tools to test out.
And
Take
swag and God, everything.
Yeah.
They're just salts of the earth. So
I really
they-
love them.
They
really-
send out so much stuff to everybody within this industry. It is absolutely insane.
They are givers.
I would say they probably donate the most amount of money of any company in the PDR game.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And on that note, everyone, don't forget to vote. If you're going to MTE or if you're not going to MTE, there is a voting for PDR Person of the Year, PDR Tool Person of the Year,
Yeah.
and Mentor of the Year. So, I know who's getting my vote. I don't know about you guys, but we might have mentioned them in this little preclude here.
Who's that?
We could have.
Well, his name starts with a C and sounds like
Friar Tuck?
that's Meg Cryer.
Yeah, vote for that guy.
Yeah, vote for Meg Cryer.
Yeah.
That's a terrible pun.
Yeah. That's it.
That was rough.
No, we're just having fun today. It's what our subject today is the holidays.
The holidays. Yeah.
And things slow down, right?
Yeah, the effect that they have on everybody's business. I mean, if you're not a store actually selling random goods to John and Jane consumer, we get to slow down. Now, I am a hail guy. I get, I have this whole week off. Nobody wants to fix their hail cars. They all want to drive to their family. They want to do that. What do you guys have with the retail stuff?
It slows down. It's kind of mixed bag, to be honest with you. I've actually been busy the last few days, but I think it's because people are off of work. And so, I was trying to get out of work. I'm leaving for London tomorrow, and I was trying to get out of work at 2:00 today. And as I'm gathering up all my stuff, I had 3 customers come in on walk-ins, and 2 of them wanted their dents done immediately. And you know what? It's not about the money for me. It's more about capturing that job because I don't want someone else to get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be back in town till December 3rd, I think. So it's what? Okay. All right. Let's get you all in on Mobile Tech RX and get you checked in as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Those were the fastest 2 dents I've ever fixed in 2 different customers. I had one guy in and out, written up, in and out within 15 minutes. He's like, wow,
Oh, wow.
$90. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give you a Thanksgiving special and give you $75. It was literally like a 3-push dent. Took me
And
longer to
you
put
know
the
what,
window
though? Here's how I want all you guys to think about a new customer coming in. So if a new customer comes in, you're paying X amount of dollars to get that customer in your door, either through some sort of advertising, right? But you want to own that customer for a lifetime. You want to own his family, his friends, everybody. But just think about that customer and owning him for the lifetime. And if you take care of him right, he will keep coming back to you. So your advertising cost is pretty expensive for him to come in that first time. But after that, it's all free.
Yeah.
And you want to, you want to just take care of them.
Daniel, the 3 people that came in at 2:00 this afternoon were all repeats. All repeat customers. One of them had been in at least 2 times before. So,
Okay.
you know what? If I'm going to charge the guy $75 instead of 90, it's just more about retention at that point.
Right.
Well, have you noticed that sometimes the way you interact with that guy and making him a friend, that they'll come in more often if
Yes.
they feel like you're taking care of them?
Yeah. And the funny thing is that Toyota Prius or that Camry is the most beautiful Camry I have ever seen, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at the wheels you put on that Ford Pinto. That is so awesome. I love the color of your combination. You know, you have to
I
sell
have
it.
never seen those Tweety Bird seat covers in any other car.
Exactly.
I love the flames you put on that Pacer.
Yes.
We are the champions.
So it's all about retention for me. I try building customers for life. I don't know about you guys. I know there's guys that capitalize.
I have guys that will wait for me to come in off the hail trail to fix a single dent.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm not going to be there for like 10 months.
Well, then again,
it's okay.
Is it a little bit different on hail? Because, a lot of them are one and done, unless you're in a hail prone area and you might need to capture them and for future years.
I fixed the same car 3 times in the same summer.
Really?
Wow.
All covered by insurance?
Every time, and the guy had $1,000 deductible every single time.
Wow.
I think he would have changed his deductible by the second time.
After the 3rd time, he said he was going in and changing it.
Yeah. I hope so.
But it was twice in the same town, and after we fixed it the 2nd time, I think he'd gone to Denver and got hit on the interstate on the way to Denver. It was crazy.
Yeah, so I don't really have that much of a slowdown around the holidays. In fact, some of my stronger months are November and December.
Okay, let me ask you, do you have a psychological slowdown in yourself?
Absolutely. In the past, I get kind of depressed and down on myself, not being away from my family back in Chicago, or I don't know what it is. But this year, I'm amped. I'm charged. I'm hitting the holidays.
How about you, John?
Yeah, but you're spending the holidays in England this year.
Well, yeah, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Now, me, no, I don't really get it. But I'm also, normally my hail season's winding down. Generally by December, my hail season is completely done. But I do have that big dead spot. Thanksgiving is like the start of it, and that's when I really start feeling it. And then by Christmas, I'm generally all over. There's nothing left, and I have January, February, March off. But I don't really get September's generally my big super month.
That's your big push, huh?
Yeah. All the kids make it back to school. It's the end of summer. All the parents, psychologically, all the parents are like, summer's over, hail is over. I fixed cars from a hailstorm right after, right before Halloween once. Did an entire storm right around Halloween that hit before. But people's minds is once the kids are back in school, summer's over.
Yeah. Get back into the routine.
Yep. And then so September's always been our a really big month for me.
How about you, Daniel? I know I've been talking to you during the day, and normally you're not like you're usually hammering in the background. It sounds like you're doing like nothing in the background.
So I've been getting like two, 3 cars a day that are about $400 to $600 each, roughly. So it does slow down, and I'm okay with it. But I've got so many motorcycle tanks right now. I've got 19 motorcycles tanks right now.
Holy cow!
And
People ship them to you, right?
Yeah, I am overwhelmed with motorcycle tanks.
Are they really that patient? Do they wait? They don't care, or is there?
Yeah, I tell them, hey, I'm
6
booked
to
out
8 weeks.
4 to 6, 8 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
And they're fine with it. Most of them are vintage tanks, and they're project tanks, or so I don't have any new tanks, so I don't get anybody saying, oh, I want to ride, as soon as possible. I don't get any of those.
Yeah.
So it's all vintage stuff. I just had a 1930 Harley come in. Wow. And beautiful, just all kinds of weird patina on it, and the guy wants to keep all that patina. But these tanks, I get it, and I get excited because I know how easy this tank is. It's super heavy. It's so heavy. You pick it up and it's heavier than shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
but it fixes well.
Oh, it pushes like butter. It's
all right.
It almost feels like it's brass. That's how
really
soft it is. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Now, I've done a lot of collector cars for classic car collectors and that sort of stuff, and they are a fairly eccentric crowd, and they are in love with their cars. Is that the same in the motorcycle crowd?
It's a real mixed bag. Some people I talk to, like if it's something like this tank, I end up calling the guy, and I want to talk to him. I want to feel him out. I want to know what's the history of the bike. Is there emotional connection? Because that can determine how much I charge, really.
Okay.
And because some vintage tanks, honestly, aren't worth anything, and sometimes they don't care, and they'll shop for one on eBay and replace it with something better, So you gotta kind of talk to the customers and feel them out a little bit.
Okay. I didn't realize there was that many vintage tanks a person could just buy. So
yeah, it depends on the bike,
Right. Sure.
I mean, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is old 70s Hondas, Suzuki's, Yamahas, and whatnot.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. So then, what about Christmas? Do you guys just plan a big time off for Christmas? Like the Christmas to New Year's stretch. Do you just plan on it being slow, or do you not even feel that?
I don't. I spend time with my family. If it's busy, it's busy, and if it's slow, it's slow. I still get up and go to work every day. Except for the holidays. I'll take well, this year is different because I'm in England for Thanksgiving in 9 days. But Christmas, I'm usually in Chicago for Christmas, but I'm traveling so much lately that I'm staying back in California for Christmas.
Okay.
But, yeah, so I don't really know.
Try to do a lot more Facebook type of advertising to get people to come in. I haven't ever really run any specials or anything like that. I just tend to start showing off a lot of before and after pictures and stuff like that, try to get interest and stuff. And I'm kind of unique, in my location really pays off for me,
Yeah.
Having a location next to the mall, next to the freeway.
The methadone clinic.
And the methadone clinic. Yeah, don't forget that. That's a big
Sorry,
plus.
I need to dig at you.
It's a big plus.
Not all pearly white. Come on, Daniel.
No,
You do have the methadone clinic next door.
oh,
There's
you
a
want to
couple
hear?
of cavities.
You want to hear a great one? So
Yeah.
last night, a customer says, "Can I pick my car up after hours?" Yeah, we're gonna bury the key in our little planter box next to the front door. Great. We get a call this morning. Yeah, I was digging through your planter box looking for my keys, and I found a needle.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, great.
Well, how many? Just one or five?
Just one. Luckily, it had the cap on it,
Oh,
and I'm like, okay, that's it. So we ended up buying a lockbox with a combination, so we can.
yeah. I was just going to ask you a combination
We're
lockbox.
changing that whole scenario. But yeah, Santa Rosa, the city council of Santa Rosa have been fantastic in just treating the homeless with kid gloves. So,
Yes. Well, it's a touchy subject, especially out here in California, because that's when like the rest of the country just leans to the west, right? And all the homeless people just kind of fall into California.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you heard the term? Not to get off this topic, but junkie hunters. Have you heard that before?
No, what's that?
Wait,
So-
wait. People actually hunt out junkies for specific items?
Yes, they hunt out the junkies in Iowa and South Dakota and Nebraska.
And they ship them to us.
And they say, hey, come to California. We'll put you in treatment out here, right? So they come out here on a bus or whatever, and they get out here and they're thinking, okay, I'm going to get clean. And then, they run their insurance and everything's good and they just get paid. And the junkie's like, you know what? I don't want to get sober. I don't want to get clean. And they leave treatment. Well,
now I knew a lot of states were shipping their homeless to California.
Well, yeah, that too.
But I didn't realize that some of the clinics out there were sending out people.
Yeah, the actual clinics have people that go after people in different states to bring them here to go to treatments. Wow. And then when they get the treatment, they're like, I don't want to be in treatment. Screw this. I'd rather do drugs or drink or whatever. And they end up being homeless in California. Well, I wouldn't want to be homeless in freaking Chicago or New York or Nebraska right now. Or they stick out, they hang out here. It's cool.
Yep. Huh. If you are a junkie and you're thinking about doing that, go to Southern California.
No. Well, wait 18 months because
it's way warmer in Southern California.
I'll be, yeah.
Well, I don't know. A little bit north of you is pretty dang hot right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of fires a lot of forest fires to keep them warm. Oh, that's terrible.
I know.
It is.
All right.
Yeah.
So getting back on the subject.
Well, we went way out.
And now we went, happy holiday season to junkie hunting.
So,
Not really sure.
But the junkie hunters, they actually get like $2,000 per person that they bring in to the treatment facilities out of the insurance money.
I'm going to need to get a name and number, and I'm heading to Denver.
Yeah.
I know I can round me up some homeless in Denver.
Right?
So, Vince,
yes.
Tell our audience a little bit about why you're going to England.
Oh, okay. Well, when you guys are listening to this, I will already be in the process of becoming an IMI certified trainer for Power Down EV Level 2 training. So the idea behind that is that Kevin Andrews from TDN, he's been coming out here to teach classes for the past year and really pushing the IMI training for Level 2 EV, which John still hasn't taken. Keep on listening. But Daniel's done it. Actually, we just got back from doing a stint in Denver where we certified over 25 guys, and it was awesome.
At the Rocky Mountain Tech meetup.
Exactly. So what we're doing is I'm going to be the instructor for Anson and TDN. It's a joint venture between Anson and TDN to do the IMI certification in this country. And what that is going to entail is that we will do satellite locations here and there to train technicians. Also, if you have a company or you can round up 8 guys or more, we will give you a deal. Usually we'll throw in one person for each 8 guys that you have. So what that looks like is for one certification, it's $850. You get 8 guys together, you put it in your shop, you organize everything, and we're going to throw you in for free. It's a great deal. It's a great opportunity for you to have an open house or a get together, and you could do these certifications. And I will personally come to your city or state, whatever, and instruct and certify each and every one of you. Now, with the IMI training, what you get with that is it's an international certification. It is good anywhere you go in this country, and it's recognized anywhere you go in this country. So, for example, after one of our posts a couple, 2-3 weeks ago, I got a call from a company in California that said, we have the Tesla accounts. And with the Tesla accounts, we do all the recon on the Teslas. We're able to do interior, wheels, touch up, everything but PDR. And I said, why? Because we're not certified to shut down the cars properly. And that blew my mind. The Tesla has actually stepped up and done that.
Now, does Tesla recognize the IMI?
Everyone recognizes it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's IMI is actually backed by the English government. So that's what makes it an international standard. It's also ISO certified as well for people that don't know about ISO certifications when you go into manufacturing and things like that. It's that you're doing something to a certain standard, and it's recognized, and you're rewarded that certification for that. So it's a wonderful thing. Just today, I had a technician calling me up. Hey, how do I power down this car? I'm nervous about it and this and that. And I walked him through it, and he watched Daniel Graham's video, but he still wasn't, he was freaking out about it because the lights still went on when he opened the door. So don't worry about it. I told him what to do, and I said, listen, you really need to get certified. He said, absolutely. I'm up for it. Next time it's in my area, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I want to say that I made that video before I was certified too.
Oh, did you? Well, keep in mind, people are watching that.
Yeah. I need to probably redo that. So let me ask you this, Vince. So what do you say to the guy that's in Iowa and he's like, we don't get none of those Teslas out here?
I've been to Iowa a couple of times, and that's a little more Arkansas, ruralish on the accent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I used to live in Arkansas, but now I moved to Iowa.
All right.
So okay. I just want to clarify that.
Okay. Well,
I was doing moonshine in Arkansas, but then I got into PDR and just moved to Iowa.
You know what? The funny thing is, for some reason, people always revert to Teslas. Oh, electric vehicle, IMI, the Teslas. It has nothing to. It has partially
every hybrid
Teslas, every hybrid, every electric car. If you get one of those cars,
hybrids,
huh?
What we learned, mini hybrids, no, they called it something else.
Micro. A micro hybrid is a car that you go up to a stoplight and it turns off.
Turns off. Yep.
And then the light turns green and you step on the gas and it turns back on.
I'll give you a very popular seller. Jeep Grand Cherokee with the V6.
New Chevy truck does that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The new Chevy trucks.
Yep.
And let's not forget, Volkswagen is already talking about releasing their all-electric car priced at around $22,000.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah, they're coming in a lot cheaper than the Model 3 from Tesla, and they're going to go nationwide with it. Tesla, like in South Dakota, we can't buy a Tesla.
Right.
There's no way, and they don't
service it,
viable enough market. Yeah. But
they
a Volkswagen,
banned you guys.
Yeah. But a Volkswagen, I can just run to the local VW dealer here in Rapid City and pick one up. So those cars are going out. And something that I tell people is, it's like, just like you guys said, the micro hybrids, the hybrids, and now all these all electric cars. I'm like, yeah, you might not see very many, but it only takes one to kill you anyway.
Yeah. Well, everyone sees the Priuses. Everyone sees those, right?
And the Tahoe hybrid. I mean, Chevy had that Tahoe hybrid all over the place.
Yeah. Well, the new Dodge Ram 1500 is a hybrid. Yep. When you're cruising along the freeway going 80 miles an hour and all of a sudden it's a V8 seven or 6 of those cylinders shut off, or 5 of the cylinders shut off, and you are now running on hybrid technology and 2 or 3 cylinders. It's completely crazy. And you don't even know, because when you go to step on the gas, if you need to get, do a burnout or whatever, the power's right there.
Yeah.
So they're coming. GM alone will have 25 hybrid or electric vehicles in the next 5 years. And that's GM alone. Right now we have the Volt and the Bolt. In the next 5 years, we're going to have 25. Down in Texas, the largest GM dealership in Texas, in Fort Worth, has a whole unit only for hybrid vehicles right now.
Wow, they're already prepping for it.
They're already prepping.
This is the big thing, is you got to think about, so if you get one of these cars, you get paid for it.
Yes.
So your certification starts paying for itself right away.
You could charge for it anyways if you don't know what you're doing, but you're better off knowing what you're doing, so you don't kill, injure yourself, damage someone's car, which will cost thousands of dollars to fix.
That's what I was going to say. That would make that class seem real cheap.
Exactly.
You burn out a hybrid, melt down your shop, melt down the customer car, anything like that.
So, and it was funny because when we were at the front range, we had 2 technicians that were there for the certification that had taken the iCar certification, and they're like, "Oh my God, it was like a 2-hour class on the internet. It was so easy." And I went to go power down a hybrid car. I'm like, I have no idea what to do. And it was basically sit down for 2 hours for a piece of paper, and that was all that it was.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. So guys out there, they're, Temecula, wherever,
Temecula,
Iowa, North Dakota. So they want to get certified. How do they get certified by Vince D'Alessandro?
Well, we're going to have a bunch all the time. Like you were plugged out.
Standard big events, like this front range, the Anson open houses.
Yeah,
those are the kind of events you're talking about.
You're going to see us at the big events. We'll usually do a day ahead or behind the event.
So let me ask you this: if I get a bunch of
8 is the magic number.
If I get more than 8 techs, or how about body men that want to be certified?
Yep.
I service a bunch of body shops. I'm sure those guys want to get certified.
Yep.
And the body shops probably pay for them. I can get 8 of those guys easy.
Sure.
And you'll come to me, maybe?
I will come to you.
What?
And
you can have the famous Vince D'Alessandro come to me. Oh my God!
You could just have the Vince D'Alessandro, not the famous.
Oh.
Yeah. So well, actually, we will be doing like a West Coast tour. We're going to do one in San Diego at Mike's shop. We'll do one in Orange County at my shop, and then we're going to go up to Santa Rosa and hang out with Daniel for a day or 2.
Actually, it's the only way I can get him up here. Just visit me.
Yeah.
So, and you guys with Anson and IMI are planning that, especially now. That is going to happen after you receive the certification in England when you come back from this trip.
Correct. Yeah, I'm going to take the rest of the year off. I am going to do a private one for that big company that has 8 technicians ready to go. But then we'll be at MTE, and we'll be doing the advanced training seminar. We'll be doing.
How do they sign up for that?
Did you?
No. How would they sign up for the?
How do you tell our listening audience?
Well, if you go to pdrcollege.com, maybe PDR College, the other podcast.
PDR College is having it. Yeah.
The PDR College, the Advanced Skills Seminar. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong. It's the Advanced Skills Seminar.
Skills. Yeah.
Keith and Shane, they do that every year at MTE. It's actually going to be held at the TDN location. TDN now has a new location in Orlando, Florida, which is only about 2 miles away from the convention. And the Advanced Skills Seminar will be held there. I'm not sure if I was even supposed to announce that yet, but it is what it is.
Well, another first brought to you by PDR Tool Time.
Yes. uh, MTE was a little bit resistant with the advanced skill seminar with Keith and Shane, so they had to go a different direction with hosting it. And TDN stepped up to the plate and opened up their new location, which is in Orlando, for the advanced skill seminar. I don't
Oh, I
know.
didn't even know that.
Well, you're hearing it first, and I'm probably not even supposed to say it. So, all our listeners, you're hearing it first.
Be quiet. Don't tell anybody.
And seeing as how we've thrown it out there, it's pdrcollege.com. And on the top of the screen, you'll see the Advanced Skills Seminar. If you click on that, that'll take you to all the information about the Advanced Skills Seminar.
Yeah. And the new TDN location, I've seen pictures of it. It's pretty awesome. It's really nice. You know, those guys
They
know
do
how
it
to-
first class.
They do. Everything's first class over there. So we won't be doing any, as of right now, we're not doing any training for IMI at MTE that I know of. But if we do, it will be posted here. You'll hear about it first here at PDR Tool Time, and we'll post it all over, you know, the website and Facebook and all that good stuff too.
All right.
Yeah. So make sure
Well
you
done.
check out that link there that Daniel will put up in the show notes for pdrcollege.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then after the new year for 2019, as long as they can get 8 together in one location, they will fly you on out and certify that group
Absolutely. Yeah.
anywhere. Portland,
Anywhere.
Maine, coming to you.
I want to go to Canada. I was talking to a guy 2 days ago about Canada doing one up there, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I will go anywhere.
Canada, eh?
Eh?
Nice.
We can get some.
Molson?
No, we can get some.
My sister got
maple
bit by a
syrup
moose.
whiskey.
Eh?
Oh, the maple syrup whiskey. Yes.
Yep.
Actually, I text Benoit, told him I missed him a lot.
Oh, you're
Miss our
already
Ben-
greasing them up a little bit for some
I
more.
miss our Benoit.
Yeah.
He got a new girlfriend.
Yeah. He did get a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what else are we talking about here, guys?
Well, how about talking a little bit? You know, one of the things that I get a lot of questions on is how to finish off big dents. And I mean, I do a lot of big dents, and finishing to make a big dent look clean. Because sometimes, I mean, you start working on a big dent and it's ugly probably 80% of the time until you get to the very end.
And they get a lot uglier during the process.
Yeah. I was working on a front fender of a BMW today, and it was aluminum. And I'm like, God, I'm hammering on this thing. I mean, I was abusing it. I mean, I was hitting on it. I was doing a lot to it. And fortunately, it was white, so that makes it a little bit easier, but it was a pearl paint. And aluminum is a little bit different. You're going to want to use a sharp tip on that, you know, probably 50% of the time. But on steel, you know, the key really is to use your sharp tip. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
don't
finished
even
out.
start- I very rarely start with like a soft tip, like a ultra soft tip. I'll start like intermediate tip to sharp. You know what I mean?
On big stuff, man, I always start with like a giant mushroom head or some sort of soft tip.
Right, but like with aluminum, like when you're dealing with aluminum, I tend to start with like intermediate, a chair rail tip rather than like a big soft.
Actually, you know what I like is I like the Steinleiner line of tools. What I think his philosophy is using a soft metal type of tool. So a lot of his tools have, you know, slow curves on them, but it's metal on metal. And you get a different reaction, especially on aluminum, when you just want to rough out the majority of the meat of the dent. and get it to where it's starting to get back to the shape it needs to be. And his tools, I've got one of his tools that's it's a big slow curve. I think he calls it the finger.
Yes.
Yep. And that
Of
tool
all
is
the
amazing.
names of all of his tools, and then 27 words to name some of these tools, and then he just tosses that one out there. Give him the finger.
The finger. That thing is awesome. And it's a big slow curve. You can push a lot of meat with that
Do you have
thing.
the double bend one too, or no, or just the straight one with the?
No, I just have the straight one.
I got both.
Okay, which one do you like?
I like both of them because sometimes you have the fender that's a little bit farther out that you need that extra double bend. I'd like double bend tools because it gets me to the metal right away. So it's less pushing. Yeah. However, Daniel, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. And John, you too. When you're pushing on aluminum and you get those weird little high spots, no one really knows what's going on with those. They do color stand out, so it's not a big deal.
You talking when they crinkle?
When it crinkles.
That little crinkle into it. And what causes that is because aluminum is a man-made metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like steel.
All metals are man-made.
Well, iron is actually found naturally, but aluminum is a manufactured metal.
Okay, I get
what and it's a multi-component manufactured metal. And what is causing those little lines, as it was described to me, is the sharp tips, everything. You're actually making little small separations in those molecules. Okay. And it's the stretch it, pop it back, and then it leaves that line in the paint. And that's why they can be nubbed and buffed off.
Well, here's the deal, John. When you're dealing with these stand liner tools, this finger tool that Daniel's talking about, you don't get those.
And I'm betting that has to do with like the finger, the touching surface is much larger, and you're not concentrating on that. Like if I'm hitting a bad aluminum stuff, I'm getting as big a tip onto it as I can to stop that.
Sure.
That way I don't have those lines, and I don't like to buff anything.
If you compare that metal soft round tool and then you got a regular pick with a soft tip on it, it's not the same.
No.
You would think it would be the same kind of a push, but it's not.
It's not. It's really, you're going metal on metal, but you're making soft pushes, and you're not making it. It would cause, you would have to really crank on it to make a high spot. It's the most bizarre thing. What I think is happening, and Daniel, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but you have this finger that's kind of curved, and you're pushing on it. And as you're pushing, I think it's like flattening out a little bit, and making a bigger surface area that you're pushing on. Because it's like you're pushing, it's a slow curve. And, as you're pushing on
you're talking about the serve flattening, the tools flattening out. The tools
flattening out. That curve is like opening up.
I don't know if it is, but it feels like that. Yeah.
It feels like that. I don't know if it is. But you have this bigger surface area rather than a pinpoint accurate, like sharp tip push that you would expect from a metal tool.
Yeah, it's just different, and it's one of the things that guys, if you don't have any Steinliner tools, go out there and start buying some and experimenting, but try to learn how to use a tool, because one of the aspects of his tools is it has multiple uses. You can turn it turn it a quarter turn, and you can push with it, turn it another turn, and you can roll it, turn it another turn, and you can use the tip of it. So it's a multiple tool, and it's hard to wrap your brain around, because I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah, and that's I've been going down the road of I was going to start adding stand liner into my arsenal. Now, as a hail guy, I don't get to see as many of the big smashes as I would like, because for me personally, the big smashes are the most rewarding PDR work you will ever do.
But you know what, John? The thing is if you're working on an aluminum hood with some larger dents, let's say $50 or bigger, I would put you on this finger tool first.
Yeah, I would too.
And have you compare it to whatever you were using before.
Yeah.
If you guys go to
I'd be happy to use your finger, Daniel.
And you had to go there, all right? Now, if you guys go to MTE, go to the Stanliner booth and ask
Stanliner.
Stanliner.
Stan.
And
Stan.
And they are going to be doing a lot of
Stanliner.
demos.
Yeah.
They will show you. Operating a Stanliner tool is different.
And you want to ask him, hey, show me. And it wasn't until he grabbed my hands and started,
Your finger?
pushing.
Did he
Start
pull your
pushing.
finger?
He wrapped his arms around me, cuddling me.
It's a gentle hug with a tight push.
It was fantastic. He goes, "You are too rough for this tool. You need to think of it like woman is like dance. You must dance with the tool and be gentle."
And you said, is
Like
that
you
the
dance
tool in
with
your
women.
pocket?
Yeah, because you guys use a lot more of a rocking motion with each of the Stanliners, right?
Yeah.
No.
Not so
Well,
much the
yes
first
and no.
Yes and
Yes
no.
and no.
There's
Okay.
tools that are designed
on the
that
tool.
way. Like the pirate hook or the killer whale that you're rocking it back and forth.
Okay.
And then you had the finger. It's just a straight pushing tool.
There's times where you're blending from behind with it. Like I was
Yeah.
working on a lower
That
door yesterday.
I still haven't got. I don't get that.
My forearms get really.
I've tried
sore
it.
doing it.
I can
haven't-
only imagine, yeah.
I haven't mastered it. I don't know how that works. So that's something I have to learn how to do.
What I'm
And-
hoping is that some of the guys that are good at doing videos on tools and stuff like that, and application like the Toledos or the Bryce Kellys and the guys that are killing it with videos out there. I hope they do some of these videos on Stanliner tools with a little bit of direction from Stanliner. I would love if Mike would go out there and get trained by Kaz. I don't think
And videotape it.
and videotape it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because-
you know what? It's difficult because it did take him wrapping his arms around me and pushing for me to get it.
Yeah.
Well, I had to change your whole way of thinking. You've
Yeah.
been doing it for so long that you're always going to revert back to what you trained yourself and what you do every day, and
You're right, Jeff.
you have to go out of your way to think about.
You do.
Right now, pretty much, and you guys have used it, but if I grab my Dentcraft rod, it's a mindless set of operations. I don't even have to notice. It's not until somebody else is watching me that they're like, "Oh man, your hand's doing all these different things," and I don't even realize. I'll turn them, I'll work them at a 45-degree angle, I'll do all of this, but you throw me in your pirate hook, and the very first thing I fix with it, I'm probably going to look like I'm a 2-week-old newbie.
Yeah, you'd be like, "Oh."
It's like, man,
Okay,
but
George.
once you learn the operation of that tool and add that to skill to your arsenal.
You know what the weird thing is, John, is we're using these Stanliner tools, and we don't even know if we're using them right.
It's entirely possible. I mean, he built his tools for each one has a very specific push style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's working. I love working with them, but I don't know if I'm using them to the maximum capacity that they could be used.
Well, you know what you
each
can't
tool
do?
has like three or four push
tips.
pushes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I had the hardest time wrapping my mind around when I was looking at his tools. It's like they got all these wicked bends to them, and I'm just used to a knife blade, It's like, woo. And I'm like, what? And then talking with Kaz, and it's like, oh, you use this part to do this, and I was like, oh, that makes
he has
so
a
much
little,
more sense.
I bought a 1/4-inch tool, and honestly, it sat on my tool cart forever. And it wasn't until recently I really started to utilize it. And you know what I realized is I go, this is just like a whale tail that will fit in a 1/4-inch hole.
Yeah.
It has the same properties as a whale tail, but being able to stick it in a 1/4-inch hole and twist it, and
So is it similar shape as like the pirate hook?
No,
Looks like a sickle, right? That one?
it looks like a sickle. It's got 2 bends, but it's softer than a whale tail.
Dude,
obviously.
you grab that tool and throw it in a fender on a fender dent, and you're like, holy crap. I just fixed that dent smooth, clean within.
And that's only if you twist it. Now you put it in a hole and
do direct pressure. And
you do direct pressure on the edge of it and drag it, you're taking out a crease.
Yeah.
All right.
But let's say you just want to push a regular door ding, you can push a regular door ding and it works like a soft tip. So it's a trip, man.
It is. It is. Well, I encourage everyone to at least get 1 or 2 of them and mess around with them. You know, instead of grabbing a regular door tool or a double
especially if you're bored with PDR, man, it'll get you excited again for sure.
Well, and if you are going to MTE and the Stanliner booth is pretty packed, make sure to stop by A1.
Oh yeah,
and talk with them about the tools, their usage. I know Kaz is going to be stopping in and doing some hands-on stuff in the A1 booth, but Maria and John will be able to give you the basics.
But if your intent is to buy some of their tools, buy it the first day because they will be sold out.
Yeah, they sell out fast.
Because they can only bring so many. So that's it.
And they're all handmade, except for the ones from A1. The A1 ones are manufactured by A1.
Yeah, the A1s you can get. So there's kind of 2 different lines almost.
Yeah, but what you're finding is that Stanliner is, I find he's releasing more to A1.
Yeah.
Probably because A1 is now, you know, they're manufacturing them to his specifications and they like what's coming out.
Great job.
They have the ability to manufacture at a higher rate.
I have both, and I can't tell the difference.
No. No. Well, cool.
It's just about the design, really.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that kind of concludes our episode today.
I think so too. You know, that was kind of a mixed bag of goodness.
We kind of want to throw everything at you today.
Hey, Daniel, do you have any tech tips?
Yeah. You know what?
I gave you 2 this week.
It's funny is I called up Vince, we were talking on the phone, and it was so funny. He didn't know this particular tech tip that I'm going to tell you right now. So he was working on a fender, front fender and the liner, and he was using a window wedge to wedge the
bastard. Daniel, let me tell the real story. Daniel called me up today thinking, oh man, I got an idea for a new tool. I'm going to make millions of dollars off this new fender tool. You know, when you stick your wedge up or you stick your window wedge in the fender liner to keep it open while you're pushing the dent, and it keeps on sliding out. I got the perfect tool for that. I'm like, what, an air wedge? You stick an air wedge in there and you pump it up and you hold up the liner.
I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch.
And you can buy those air wedges at Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, every home improvement store out there. Just go to the same section with all the shims, and there's your little airbag.
So Daniel had a multi-million-dollar idea that was deflated within seconds.
Crushed
with an air wedge.
Crushed me.
So guys, that's the tech tip. If you're working in fenders and you need to get that fender liner out of the way, I use an air wedge. I'll put the air wedge up there. I'll peel it back and put the air wedge up there and pump it up. That way it pushes it out of the way a little bit for you.
Son of a bitch.
And what was the other one? The other one the other day. You said you were using your hot box a lot more. Your T hot box.
Yeah.
And I gave you a good tech tip.
I forgot.
So you were knocking down the high spots and this and that. And I said, hey, blast it with you were getting a lot of texture going on in your dent. So if you take your hot box and you get a lot of texture in a dent, you take your hot box and you blast it, and everything will come up to a smooth mound. And then that'll give you an opportunity to knock down the higher high spots and make it a little bit more smoother, a lot quicker, rather than collapsing the dent. You're able to make a mound with the hot box. You heat it up and it goes up. You knock down your high spots, and you get to smooth a lot quicker.
Gotcha. Yep.
Did you use that tech tip I told you?
I did.
All right.
It works great.
I just knocked out almost a whole roof on a Caddy SRX with a hot box.
Aluminum?
Nope. The roof was steel.
Nice.
And blasted out. It was one of the last of the ones that I did before I took off for the holiday week.
Now, did you see that video from a guy in England that was comparing the Woyo to the T hot box?
No, I must have missed that one.
If you go, you have to have a hot box or some type of hot box or heat induction machine to get into the Facebook group. It's ran by Ron Cornyn, but he posted a video in there that was phenomenal. This guy showed the comparison between the two and why one is better than the other. But the main thing is the Woyo is just dirt cheap, and it'll get you to the same place, but the T hot box is far superior. So if you guys own one, join that group on Facebook, because there's a lot of knowledge in there that will help you decipher the heat induction tools that we're using.
Let me ask you this, because heat does destroy paint. Do you think it does any damage to paint?
No, not if you're careful. As long as you keep it under 220 degrees on steel, you're good. And the reason why I say that was we got into a debate while I was working in Austin, Texas, about the surface temperature of a car on a 115-degree Texas day. And we went out with a non-contact thermometer, found a black car dead in the sun. It's 110 degrees out, and the panel temperature was 198 degrees.
I've tested at 220 degrees on a black car.
Yeah, and you'll if you melt it down above 220 is when you're going to start burning the undercoat. That's when you'll brown spot and anything above that. But I feel that you're safe all the way up to 200, and I've never had an issue.
Yeah, I agree. And aluminum's even higher.
So for those of you with that, the Facebook group is the T Hotbox, Wyo, and any other electrical and or magnetic PDR device.
Yes. If you have one, join that group.
Cool.
That was a mouthful.
All right.
Cool. Wrap it up, Daniel.
Definitely brings us to the end. Gentlemen, do yourself a favor. Buy some tools on Black Friday and level them up. I know the show's after Black Friday.
Don't do stupid stuff like give advice on buying something 3 days after the event is over.
And I still have to come up with something like buying tools on Black Friday.
Buy them January 1st, too.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Good night, guys.
This has been another episode of PDR Tool Time.